Today we're trying 3 whiskeys from West Cork Distillers in Skibbereen, Ireland. I actually got to take a tour there and I'll show you some footage from it.
Let's get drinking.
Very excited about this video today because I was fortunate enough this past summer to go to Ireland, specifically County Cork, and I got to tour the great distillery West Cork Distillers out in Skibbereen. They make fantastic whiskeys and fantastic gin. A true backstage tour. It's very, very cool. And you get to try some great product. They had column stills and pot stills, which is fun. They deal mostly in single malt style of Irish whiskey as opposed to the single pot still. I got to try the whiskey straight from the still, which was really cool. And we got to tour their barrel warehouses. Specifically, I saw they had Woodford barrels, which is pretty cool, from Kentucky. And I also saw a few Jack Daniels barrels too. And the cool thing is, when you make bourbon in the United States, you can only use barrels once. So after they use them, they ship them off to Ireland, Scotland, and wherever breweries, and they age their whiskeys or beer in it. It's pretty cool stuff.
So I am just looking at the back labels here. It looks like we have 2 blended and 1 single malt. So you made a distinction between single malt and pot still, because a pot still, on our earlier video, you indicate a pot still is a mix of malted and unmalted barley. So that means it's 2 malts.
That's true, because single malt is all malted barley. So today the whiskeys we're gonna try, their flagship whiskey is their blended bourbon cask finish, which is fantastic. Then we have the black cask, which is double charred bourbon casks. And then we have the 8-year single malt.
Yeah, you can see the black cask isn't age stated, but it's definitely darker than the 8-year.
But we'll start with the bourbon, and this one is great because this sits on the shelf around 20 to 25 US.
20 to 25 US.
And this is the bottle you'll find most often in the store. It's reminiscent of the Bushmills bourbon cask finish. Less malt forward, I would say.
It's a little singy on my nose hairs, but it has that kind of that sweet bourbon aroma that you would expect from a bourbon. So yeah, that's right.
It's smooth. Goes
it's
down
smooth.
really.
It's lighter.
Yes.
It's lighter than I'd expect.
Yeah, it's a delicate whiskey. It's not harsh. It's really easy drinking.
It's 80 proof. Okay. Yeah, it's very light, almost peppery. Yeah, if you got someone who's like, oh, I don't want anything too heavy in it.
Yeah, and if you're like, I want to have a new Irish blended whiskey to go to, if you're tired of Jameson's, you're tired of Bushmills, this is a fantastic option. Highly recommend it. Gonna go to the single malt 8-year-old. The interesting thing is when I was at the distillery, they didn't taste this out. They didn't taste their 8-year. There also are 12-year single malts out there in the US market. This one sits on the shelf between 35 and 45 US and is a little bit harder to find.
Definitely a more robust nose than the bourbon barrel. The bourbon barrel was light on the nose as well. This one, you are getting those kind of roasted nut banana notes, typical of an Irish whiskey.
Very much like your scotches.
I was about to say it's borderline Scotch kind of that
But also very light. We'll give it a shot.
Let's try it. That tastes like a light Scotch.
Yes, it's very similar to your Macallan kind of not heavily peated scotches. Now, the interesting thing, comparing this to like a Bushmills 10-year single malt, which is very light, and I love it, but it's got a little bit more of a robust flavor. So if you're a fan of the Bushmills 10-year and you want to like turn it up a little bit, take a taste of this.
This is nice. It is like a light Scotch. It feels like there's peat in there, but there's not.
Yeah, they could. It says first fill bourbon casks, but it doesn't say anything about peat. But it's got a really nice flavor. If you're a Scotch person and you want to get into Irish whiskeys, highly recommend this. The black cask is double charred bourbon casks.
Yeah, that char comes through, but it's like charred. It's like someone is grilling fruit, or like someone's like threw some spiced apple on the grill and smoked it with a bit of wood or something like that. It's got this smoky kind of appley nose to it.
So let's give this a taste.
all three of these are extremely distinct. It has almost like these deep coffee notes to it.
Yeah, it drinks more like an American whiskey. Yeah,
I think this is my favorite of the three, just because that character coming from the char. This is definitely the most body. This is a little too light for me, but it's nice. This one, perfectly fine, but I'm interested, is this one cheaper than that one?
It is. So this one runs like 30 to 35 US on the shelf.
I'd say that's the best buy of the three. If I was rating these first, second, third, but out of 10, I'd give this a solid 8, probably 7, and yeah, put that at a 6.
But the other reason I would pick this up is because it's supporting a smaller brand.
But I mean, if we're gonna pull the whole support a smaller business thing, support them here. Just pay a little more. I mean, this is fine. It's just lighter. So if you want a lighter whiskey, go for it. I just prefer a little more body to it.
To sum it up, I would say this is your fantastic budget option. This is your option for the Scotch drinker or somebody who wants to get into Scotch and you love Irish whiskeys. And then this is your option for somebody who loves American whiskey but wants to get into Irish whiskeys. This is a great gateway into it. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Come back soon for more great content. We look forward to seeing you here. Join us, won't you?